So we were looking at these installations or ruins, and our impression is what happened is it proves that at some point Atlantis went down. As we know, probably there were enormous cataclysmic events. Then there is a big gap, a huge gap, maybe 5,000, 7,000 years, where we don't really know what's going on. And then around the year 5,000 to 3,000 before our era, we meet the Iberians, the Celts, then later the Phoenicians in the area of the Balearic Islands and the whole Mediterranean, and then eventually from there we move over to the Phoenicians. We found the Phoenician ruins, we've seen them, and then all of a sudden the Greeks are there. And so why are they all of a sudden in the area which later becomes Catalonia? And we think it's simply because their culture went down in some sort. They had to leave, flee. And then they have to rebuild everything new. And that's what we're visiting with, again, that statue of the famous god of medicine. So this is Asklepios, the statue of Asklepios, the 2nd century before our era. So the story is basically the story of Chiron. This Zeus smacked him down because he didn't like him. So this is really all about medicine, Chiron, Asklepios. It was a major operation. Basically what they did was they put together a giant commercial operation around vineyards. They produced black wines at huge vineyards all around the Mediterranean. And the whole thing was a giant commercial operation through the entire Mediterranean Sea. That's why we're saying it had to be a medical city, a resort, a spa. It's a university center for medicine because they took that seriously. It also shows that they were highly advanced civilizations. And then later, to take us further to our time now, of course, the Romans then appear and then just use what's around. All these roads, the famous road systems that we look at, they're not Roman roads, they're from Atlantis. This is the principle of medicine. I insist to say we're not talking about divinities and gods. He might as well be an extraterrestrial. Look at the size, look at the energy that beams off, and look at the finesse and the exact measurements and relationship ratio of the statue. This is very advanced. And it really is like a receiver transmitter, a beacon of energy. The city was dedicated to the principle of healing, medicine, and together with the other principle, Serapis, which is Isis and Apis, Enki, we're really looking at afterlife, philosophy, resurrection, abundance, healing, medicine, the great subjects of timeless value. And we see that 2,400 years ago, this civilization here was very highly advanced in terms of architecture, structurally speaking, actually more advanced than we are. We couldn't do the columns, the pillars, the way they did them, the way they had things organized against earthquakes and cataclysmic events. And the fact is, we see everything still more or less in one piece here 2,400 years later. So I'm saying we're looking really at what was handed to us from outer space a long, long time ago, after Atlantis. These are the descendants of Atlantis, obviously. So he was apparently handed over to Chiron in some sort of education, but this is the mythology. And what's interesting is when we look at mythology and we look at real life, trading, Mediterranean, economy, politics and economics, we see that these guys work together on all of them principles through all of the spectrum, whether it was science, sociology, medicine, politics, how to run a city, how to run really a culture, a civilization in the whole Mediterranean. This, in short, is the witness of a very prosperous time of peace and of the arts and sciences. Remember, they knew astrology, astronomy, right? Those were the most sophisticated human beings that were on this planet. They knew how to build architecture so as to outbalance elements that could take the structures down. Kim Castelli explained that to us a few years ago. But mainly, most importantly, they knew commerce, right? The entire Mediterranean was the world then. And that was commerce, wisdom, university, medicine, teaching, the vineyards, the olives. I mean, they brought all this stuff here. They knew how to live.
And healing?
And healing, of course. Chiron and Asklepios, so the god of medicine. I think we're living in an area here in California that was really the center of the universe, say, 2,500 years ago. That's a fact. And what is left now here is the culture that's still going. Okay, cheers.
And entertainment?
And entertainment, yes, they were good at it. They had amphitheaters. No, seriously, they have just about 2 miles down the road, there's an amphitheater we can go look at. Further back in this area, we even have dolmen sites. So whatever went on, we can say we're living in a whole PowerPoint area, from the sea to the mountains to the Pyrenees, and which is, by the way, today known as Dali's Triangle. This is the triangle of Salvador Dali. So I think this is interesting to see that all this comes together.